All right, everyone, welcome back. This is our seventh episode of the Roommates podcast. I'm Michael, and this is my co-host Aiden. Today's topic is actually going to be abortion, which is a kind of touchy subject. We wanted to kind of preface this episode saying that as men, we don't don't make me laugh. We are
I don't
back.
know. As men, we're never really, we won't ever have to really deal with abortion or really having to worry about, our bodies being legislated. So we
Yeah,
just wanted to put that out there as saying that our our opinions are not the most valid. Like, if you understand, like we feel as if our voices are valid, but on this subject, and I mean, we've talked about subjects that are probably they don't really affect us directly. So we just wanted to say that like we acknowledge that.
we're just kind of saying pretty much we're just saying like how we feel in our ideas and stuff like that. But in the end, we understand that like women have a more like their opinions are much more valid because it's affecting them directly, not us.
Yeah, and on that note, we do have a problem with like only men legislating like women's bodies.
100%. Yeah.
Um, and so that's kind of where our little introduction comes from. Our We don't want to seem like that's what we're doing, but instead we're just kind of trying to talk about something.
Yeah.
We should maybe in the future have like maybe like a woman on here to talk
Warm.
about her personal
Yeah.
experience or
That'd be
um,
cool. Yeah.
but for now it's just us, and
Just us
we'll get
guys.
started. So you start off.
All right. I'm gonna start off. So on abortion, um, I mean, I take a really liberal stance with this. I think abortion should be, it should be the choice of the woman, 100%. I don't see like I think a lot of people have like an issue with it. I think most of those people are like have a religious stance towards it. Their religion or like they involve their religion to a big extent. But I think it should be the right of every woman. I don't think as we said earlier, it shouldn't be all males who make that decision. Honestly, in my opinion, I think all it should be only women who decide on that. You know what I mean? I think others would agree, but whatever. But it's just like a personal kind of little thing. But
I mean, like, yeah, I don't know. Tagging off of what Michael said, like the religious aspect. I mean, I completely agree with what Michael said there. I think, like, if religiously you have problems with abortion, then don't have an abortion. Like, it's
yeah,
not your place
it's your
to
personal
pass.
choice.
Yeah, it's not your place to pass personal judgment on other people because once again, everyone has different living situations. Everyone has different beliefs.
Yeah,
You're in no way to
you're no way
prevent some.
affected by it.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Like just period. Like it's like what I mean. It's not what one woman's choice. Her choice to have an abortion doesn't directly affect you, and I don't think that like just because you're Christian, you know what I mean. Like the other person might not be, and even if she is, she still has that right
yeah, and I mean,
to do
I
it.
can respect your decision and your beliefs for not having
Yeah, 100%.
an abortion, and I think for that reason alone, you should respect not my decision, but another woman's decision to have an abortion. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's common sense.
And I don't think that like they have to like, give you like a whole, list of reasons as to why they want to have an abortion. I mean, most of them do have like um, a huge reason why, but I'm not, what I want to say is that like they don't have to explain themselves to anyone to make that
Right, and
decision for themselves.
there was a push to make a law. I don't know in what states or if it was federally or not that a woman had to read these pamphlets or read this book on why abortion is bad, basically, or like the effects of abortion.
So propaganda, pretty much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if some religious aspects were included in there, but
Hmm.
similar to what you were
Most
saying,
likely, yeah.
no woman should have to. It's her decision, and I don't think you should have to. She should have to explain herself to anyone,
Yeah.
that including like the government. Um,
Yeah.
but so I think we both agree, and I don't think we really have to go into the ethics of it. I think it's ethical. I think even if it wasn't ethical, I still think that a woman should be able to do it.
My so my thing is what we were talking about, before we started this podcast, we were kind of talking about like the trimesters and stuff like that. So it happens in the first trimester, right? That's
Abortions.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it
I'm
is.
not. I'm not exactly sure. I know third trimester abortions don't happen. I think second. I think second trimester abortions. Third trimester is reserved for medical abortions only. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
but I think up until the second trimester, it's different state to state. I think in the California, let me look this up. Don't want to say something I'm gonna regret.
Mm-hmm.
I think it goes up to the second. Um,
Okay.
um, Abortion law in California. Sorry about this. Probably should have looked this up a little bit before. Um,
I mean, it's all right. I mean, we have like a live
okay.
kind of research of it.
There's no strict date as to when a pregnancy may be terminated.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Abortions can be performed until the fetus becomes viable, so like able to live on its own.
Okay. Yeah.
So like at which like it could be like extracted. So uh, and typically a fetus becomes viable at the 23rd week. So each trimester is how long?
If it's 9 months,
9 months. So a little bit
eight,
into the third
12
trimester,
weeks.
or
Too much math for me.
yeah, let me look. So a trimester, 12 weeks.
Yeah, 12 weeks. Okay. Yeah.
So a little bit into a little bit before um, the second ends. I guess,
Okay.
but
So my thing.
Go ahead.
So I mean, as long as I'm just trying to think of how I want to word it, but like I think as long as it's like it meets like that kind of deadline, for the most part, I don't see how people have an issue with it like at all. Like I understand where people kind of have like an issue with it when it's like um when it passes like that, that certain time limit, and it's like kind of like becoming a what is it? Is it a fetus or yeah, right? Like
Well, I mean, it's still be a fetus, but yeah, I know I agree with you. I feel like at that point,
I
medically,
don't.
I still think I think a case by case, analysis is still
Mhm.
needed because I don't think I'd be able to say after the 23rd week when it's nobody can have it. I don't think I don't.
Yeah, it depends on the person. Yeah,
It
it depends
depends
on the
person to
person.
person. Generally,
But
it seems like at that point you might as well just have a C-section, and then if
mhm.
you don't want it, go into foster care. Um,
But
but
I think
once
yeah, I think
again,
but I think
case by case.
yeah, I think it's case by case. But like once it hits that certain time, or like once it hits that certain week limit, I don't think you know what I mean. Like I don't know how to word it, but like it is. I think at that point it is alive, right? Like, is it legally alive at that point?
I mean, that's also up to like some discrepancy whether if it's like physically dependent on you, is it alive or is it just kind of like part of you? Because if it can't
Mm.
live without you, is it really living?
Yeah.
Um, and I think that's kind of like I think that they decided that when it's fully capable of living by itself, that's when it's living, I guess. Um,
So what are your thoughts when it's okay? So when it's living, like when it can live by itself, what do you think about that?
Preferably, I guess in a perfect world where they let's say they wanted to abort it because they couldn't afford it. I mean, they weren't just like financially stable enough. They were too young. It
Mm.
wasn't because of some like medical condition or whatnot. I don't know. I don't know all the cases. I'm saying like in a perfect scenario, I think that there should be a C-section and then it go into foster care.
Okay,
But I don't know. I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to like speak on that per se.
I get that. That is a kind of touchy subject because
It is a little touchy, especially since I have never personally and will not ever personally have to deal with, because I mean, abortion in itself, I know they like to downplay the effects on, but it's a hard choice
Yeah.
for women to make, and I think for someone to step in there and say no, you can't do it, or oh, you're a terrible person for doing it, or just do this or do this, do this, do that. I don't know.
I wouldn't judge the person
I think
who
that's
makes the
I think
decision.
that's horrible, and I don't know. I don't know, I respect the mother, or I guess if you're even considered a mother, the woman that's pregnated with it, to make the best decision for herself and for the baby.
Yeah. Yeah. I completely agree with you.
Um,
But it is when it is able to live by itself. That's a really hard subject because the way I see it is like it's kind of alive now. You know what I mean? It's its own kind of being, but also it's like I feel like she should still kind of have that right.
I don't know.
Like,
I think we should talk to a woman regarding this.
agreed. Why don't we do that? I mean, like, we'll finish making this video and discussing our thoughts, but maybe we can do like a part two to this.
Part two, yeah, right after we're done, maybe I'll call up someone and.
Yeah, we could do something. Yeah.
But I know it's been a while since we've talked about Black Lives Matter, but I kind of wanted to bring that in here a little bit. And that
Mm-hmm.
when Black Lives Matter was going around, some people who had problems with Black Lives Matter were saying if they really cared about Black Lives Matter, they would care about the outrageous amount of black abortion.
Borsch. Yeah.
So I think that kind
Actually,
of
I
ties in
wanted to bring
well.
that up too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's also like I think Kanye said this, but like how there's a lot of Planned Parenthoods like in really low income areas.
Right.
So my opinion, my thoughts on that is like, okay, like these places are more likely to have more babies, so you know what I mean. Like, so obviously there'd be more Planned Parenthoods there, but it's also like
Yeah.
it's also kind of like morally like it's like a little bit. I just feel a little bit weird about it.
Yeah, but I mean, it almost like it's kind of like treating like a symptom, like going back to that, like
Mm-hmm.
there's probably more abortions there because people have less money to have access to contraceptives, probably have less
100%.
education regarding, you know, safe sex,
Mm-hmm.
protected sex, and they also just
Yeah.
don't have enough money to raise a child. So it's not
Yeah.
that they
No,
hate
100%. Yeah.
it's not that they hate their black babies or that they just want to kill their black babies. It's that they
Yeah.
just don't have the money and they don't have the education to teach them how to prevent that, and they don't have,
Yeah.
all these resources. They don't have the resources to help them raise that child, or they don't have proper, like, there are reasons why it is why
Yeah.
it is. It's not that the black culture somehow encourages abortions. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
It's actually so stupid.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? And also, I think that like the people who are pro life, I think the thing that they do is like they, yeah, sorry, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, they just like when talking about like black babies and stuff like that, they kind of make it seem as if it's like actual like fully fleshed black babies being killed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When in reality, that's not the case. But I think I don't know. There's just like a lot of propaganda going on from that side. From that,
Him,
sorry about that.
chill.
Yeah, sorry about that. Let's gone into Jeremy today, but let's see.
Um, yeah, and I mean, I can understand why personally you're pro-choice. I mean, pro-life.
Yeah,
I guess if that, like, as a personal decision, but I don't know.
here, one second. Let me close my window. Some noise going on.
Some shenanigans.
Brief intermission, everyone.
All right, guys, I got a nose ring now. Oh, and just in case you've been looking at this shirt, this isn't a swastika. This is an anti-swastika shirt. So I don't want anybody going in the comments saying that I was wearing a swastika shirt. I am anti-swastika, anti-fascism, anti-authoritarian regimes, anti-globalism, anti baby. I'm anti-baby. Kidding. 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 I am anti. What next? Private enterprise, anti-business, anti-Donald Trump,
All right,
anti
everyone. I'm back.
anti-capitalism, anti.
Huh?
While you were gone, I was just telling them everything that I'm anti. I was talking about
Okay.
anti-fascism, anti-globalism, anti-corporatism, anti-Donald Trump, anti. Um, what else, dude? Oh, I said I was anti-baby too. They
Anti-baby?
found out. They found out, dude. I told them. I told them I was just anti-baby. That's why I'm pro-choice.
Just hate babies,
I
yo.
just. I'm
Yo,
sorry.
sorry.
I'm
It
sorry.
is what it is, yo.
I'm sorry I
Respect it.
wasn't straightforward with you guys.
Respect it. That's
Anyways,
hilarious.
going back to what you were saying.
Wait, what were we talking about? Sorry. Got a little distracted.
How like if it's a personal choice that you're pro-life, that's fine. But like.
Yeah, it's just I think a lot of like something like going back to like the propaganda and stuff like that, they like people who like kind of like started this movement kind of entice their followers by making it more into like a moral thing, like you're killing a
Yeah.
baby, you know, you're crazy, you're this, you're that. When in reality it's not at all what they describe it to be. And it's also interesting because a lot of like, a good amount of these Republican politicians, um, I forgot who it was, but like one of them who's like super anti-abortion had an abortion. You know what I mean? And it's like, what were you preaching this entire time? Why are you? I mean, you're kind of like
I mean, they're
creating a
catering.
divide and then going back on it.
Yeah, they're like catering to a specific audience, but
Hmm.
you can't. But they don't practice what they preach. You know,
Yeah,
it's all
and
just
that
a show.
audience, yeah, that specific audience is definitely like for the most part, white nationalists, in my opinion. And is it? I mean, that's like I feel like they're in that crowd, but another people is just like this. I think they're mostly pertaining to like I feel like white Americans who are like really conservative.
Yeah, I
Correct me
mean,
if you think I'm wrong,
I mean,
but
talking about that one senator, I'd be really surprised going back to masks. That like how many? I mean, because like some of these senators have to be smart. I mean, even if they are
hmm
conservative, I mean, they went through years of schooling, probably law school. I mean, they're smart people.
yeah,
I wonder how
yeah,
many of them actually believe that like masks are bad.
yeah. I feel like most know the reality. I mean, especially if you're that high up in government, you most likely know that like masks do no harm for the most. Like what I mean, like they don't do anything, but they have to like keep up their. I mean, if they want to get voted again for the next year, they want to keep their
Right.
spot, so they're not gonna say anything.
And I mean, that probably isn't just something on the right. Like, I bet that happens on the left too.
Like in what sense do you think?
I mean, just people. I mean, in regards to like legislation in general, people running on these ideals and then not
Hmm.
following up with them
Hmm.
when elected. You know,
I see
just
what you mean.
catering,
Yeah.
catering. I mean, because if you look at like issues like healthcare, like of all people, there was a poll done. 60% of people want healthcare, health free, not free healthcare, but just healthcare for all. Like,
Hmm.
uh,
So most people.
but yet even in the of the Democrat, yeah, so a majority, and that's like including conservatives. And in the
Hmm.
at the Democrats, it was like eight. I want to say 80%. I feel bad throwing out these numbers that I'm not sure completely, but it was like a majority.
Yeah.
But yet, when it comes to like they had a vote for Medicare for all.
Hmm.
Even the Democrats didn't even get a majority. There was like not even close to a majority of Democrats. So I think it just goes back. I mean, they probably ran on ideals similar to Medicare for all,
Hmm.
but when it comes to it, they don't care.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It's I don't know. It's pretty interesting. And that kind of goes like to like the past couple of videos we're making today about how people higher up aren't really looking into the interests of the public.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like I like it kind of begs the question like have they really been looking out for the people? You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Is
Abortion.
there any? Yeah,
Okay.
abortion. Good.
Not good.
I just
I mean, not
not good,
good.
but like it's a right.
It's a right. Yeah. And I mean,
It's a right, hundred
I think it's
percent.
morally acceptable. I think it's
Morally,
morally
yeah.
okay to a certain extent. To a certain extent.
And for those who disagree with it or have like qualms about it because of their religion, we understand where you're coming from. For the most part, we understand why you disagree with abortions. However, we disagree. Like we think that everyone should have their own right to make the decision. Not everyone follows the exact same religion as you. Not everyone has the same ideals as you. So I think you just leave it up to the person.
Amen.
Amen.
All
All
right.
right, I think
That wraps it up.
yeah, that pretty much wraps it up. This is our seventh episode of the Roommates Podcast. I'm Michael with my co-host Aiden. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Have a good day, everyone.
And we'll have probably another dump of episodes next week.
Next week, yeah.
All right. Peace out.